You could be anywhere doing anything, but you're hanging out with us. And we appreciate that. So wherever you're listening and however you're listening, we appreciate you guys for listening. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Game Plan Podcast live stream. Alex Goodwin is my name. You can follow me on Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. Again, that's on Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. That's T as in Tom, S as in Sarah, M as in mother. Kennedy Miller will be here with us shortly. Lamar Gafford, my man, Sinlock Preps. How you doing today, dog?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself, man?
I cannot complain. I can't complain. I just found out I got another check coming in the mail. A player's dissertation just got officially approved. So, in the eyes of the University of North Texas, I'm officially a PhD today.
There we go.
So, today has been a very good day. And today was also a very good day for the Denver Nuggets, who won game 3 of these 2023 NBA Finals, going up in the series 2-1 behind a 32-point, 21-rebound, 10-assist game from the Joker, Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray added 34 on 12 of 22 shooting. Jimmy Butler led Miami with 28 points from the floor. So, Lamar, first thoughts on game number 3.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and basically pretty much say this. I mean, the stars for Miami basically showed up. Like, they had everything that they had, honestly. Jimmy had 28, Bam had 22 and 17, and a very good double-double. And even he had a double-double in the first half. And it was like none of that mattered because the other two guys on the other end, Jokic and Jamal Murray, had 30-point triple-doubles. Both of them. And it's just so crazy because it's like we are just so now accustomed to Jokic just doing what he does and all that stuff that this was a very quiet 32, 21, and 10. I looked up and I was like, wow, he's done this, but it's like we've just been so accustomed now to seeing Jokic basically put up these numbers and everything else like that. Like, this is the third time in the playoffs that he's ever done that. The only other guys that have done this were, I think, Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I want to say, and they've done it once each. And it's even so crazy that some of the people in the betting game, if you want to even bet as far as like, will Jokic get a triple-double? Now those odds are pretty much in the minus, which in other words means you're having to pay $110 just to get your $100 back, just to get $100 here on Jokic getting that triple-double. It's just so crazy, man.
Yo, I am glad you explained the whole gambling situation to me because I did. Look, I don't gamble. Got no money yet. So, I was like, I don't know what minus anything means, my boy. So thank you.
I do a little bit. I'm not the high roller. I'm not putting up my house, my mortgage, or anything else like that, or you would see me in a cardboard box right now. I basically just do. I'm pretty much the guy that's in the slot that's basically in the casino doing the penny slots. $5, maybe even 10 at the most.
Hey, you sound a lot like my pops. My pops went gambling on a cruise one time. Pops put his $10 in. He got $30 out. He was like, I'm out. I'm cashed out. Somebody's like, you don't want to go for it anymore? I know how to triple my money. No, look, I've already won here. That is Pops' get down, like 1,000%. I came with 10. I left with 30.
There we go.
I am a winner. Hey. But I think to me, what really stood out to me was that it just felt like a Jamal nights for Jamal Murray. Like really early. I don't know if you felt that, but I felt it really early. Like he took 6 shots in the first 5 minutes. It made 4 of those 6. Like he had 8 of their first 10 points. He was like, oh yeah. This feels like one of those Jamal Murray nights where it just looks really easy. Where the basket is just that big for him. And it was. Right? Like the Jimmy Butler matchup didn't work as well tonight. Right? And then on the Jokic end of this, it felt like a Jokic dominant game. Because in game 2, I don't know if you feel me on this, Jokic had 44 or 41.
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't feel like a Jokic game. Because a Jokic game looks more like tonight. And it's crazy to say, like, an average night at the office for an NBA player, dude that's 7 feet tall, is, 32, 21, and 10 dimes. It's kind of crazy to think of, this is more in line with what we was expecting. You know what I'm saying? But he was able to get everybody else involved. And by everybody else, I really kind of mean Jamal Murray, because everyone else really didn't give him too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of tonight's game, it felt like 2-on-2. It felt like Bam and Jimmy versus Jokic and Murray. That's what a lot of tonight felt like. But Denver felt hungrier tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They felt like you sensed some measure of desperation in them, diving for the loose balls, fighting for rebounds. Christian Brown, how do I say the dude's name? How I say his last
name? Brown.
How the hell is it Christian Brown if it's spelled Braun? Who was the dude who used to play for the Milwaukee Brewers who was on them steroids and he lied about it?
Braun.
Ryan Braun.
Yeah,
his name's spelled just like that. But all of a sudden, you're supposed to tell me it's Brown. That's like, this feels like one of them things, like, people tell you the N in knife is silent. I mean, the K in knife is silent. Like, another story for another day. But Christian Brown, if that's his real last name, as you tell me, Lamar, gave him something tonight. He gave him something tonight. Like, we call everybody else a refund check and things like that. Christian Brown ain't quite a refund check. He just that 20 you found under the seat. Or that 20 you found in the cushion of the sofa. Like, damn, I needed this. Bam. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was that with the minutes he gave. You know what I'm saying? Jokic was able to hit him cutting to the bucket a handful of times. Made a couple of good shots, just hustle plays. Like, he was, like, extremely useful for them tonight in a night where they really couldn't, outside of Murray and Jokic, they couldn't make shots. Like, bro, Michael Porter Jr. actually did something that didn't involve shooting the ball tonight. Like, because we had this joke, me and you.
Yeah.
Like, well, Michael Porter Jr. is not shooting the ball, and his shots ain't going in. He might as well be on the couch like I'm on the couch, because he ain't giving you, bro. He ain't giving you nothing. And tonight, you see Michael Porter Jr. out there fighting for rebounds, trying to get second chance opportunities for the squad, diving on the ground, playing a little defense, contesting. Like, I feel like we're giving him some credit for some stuff he's supposed to do. But because he ain't never really done it before, we're marveling. Oh my God. It's like, you ever seen like a little kid when they're walking?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you can walk, or oh my God, you can use a toilet. Yay. That's kind of what this feels like.
You don't know something though? I wonder how his back is gonna feel probably by tomorrow, because we all know he's 25 with a 65-year-old back. So
that it is.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it has been well documented. But yeah, about Christian Brown, there was a point of the game especially in the fourth quarter, where they started pulling ahead, and he started hitting those shots. I was like, well, this one's over. Let me just get to the studio real quick right now, because I have seen everything that I needed to see here. And on the other end, you look at Miami's guys, where, again, pretty much the same thing. Like, you got some of the guys going early. I mean, Caleb Martin was able to get 10. Gabe Vincent started off okay, but then kind of cooled off. Max Strus, 1 for 7. I know we continue to joke about him, and either he's going up high or cold or anything else like that. But like you said, Denver kind of wanted him more, because they knew they had game 2 right there in the bag. And if it wasn't for Murray missing that shot, who knows what could have happened in overtime.
And I think, and I don't know how you feel about this, but in these first 3 games, have you or anybody else that's listening to us, watching us, have any of you guys had the moment, just even for a second, where you really thought Miami could win this series, or thought Miami's the better team? Because in most series, I feel like we figure out who the better team is by game 5. You know what I'm saying? Or game 4, game 5. Like, there's been enough. Like, the first 2 games are a lot of, sparring, trying to feel each other out, feel out matchups and things like that. By game 4, game 5, what we've got is what we've got. And we can pretty much figure out who the better team is from there. I feel like we know who the better team is. I mean, I feel like I knew it from game one, before game one started. But it's like Miami has to play the game of their lives to be competitive, because in 2 of these 3 games, they've gotten beat pretty definitively. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they may have been on their way to get beat pretty handily too, but the Denver bench kind of let go of the rope a bit in the fourth quarter of game 2. So, like, and we know what it's going to take. It's going to take one of them Jimmy Butler, like you said, Lamar, Jimmy Butler blackout games. And he was a lot better tonight than he was in games 1 and 2. I think he shot close to 50% from the floor tonight. 1 of 4 from 3, but the majority of those shots, majority of the shots he took tonight were mid-range and in. So, okay, cool. But what concerns me a little bit more is, at least for Miami, is your role players typically play better at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give him too much. Kyle Lowry gave him 9. Duncan Robinson gave him 9. I think Caleb Martin gave him 8 or 9, like you said.
Yeah.
But they're not having as much of an impact on the game as you would hope when you're at home. So, and at this point, tell me, I don't know how you feel about this, Lamar. Do you think Miami's kind of like they're out of adjustments? Like, what else could possibly be in Spoelstra's bag of tricks? Another zone?
Yeah, at this point, it's like looking at what the guys did tonight. I don't think he has any other adjustments that he can really make, because like you can't put Coley Zeller on. You can't have him out there on the court. Any more than the 6 minutes that he gave you, because I mean it's not going to work. And they're doing this with Kevin Love, and at least Kevin Love is giving them 16 minutes. But I mean, the guys are just going to have to shoot better at this point. I mean, that's just basically going to be it. Gabe Vincent, 2 for 10. That can't happen. Max Strus, 1 for 7. That can't happen. You know, those guys are going to have to step it up a little bit more. And that's basically it there. I mean, because like we said, we know who is the better team in this series right now, and we know Denver is. And it's just the thing about Denver is, outside of Jokic and Murray, they can have different players go off at any given time. I mean, you look at game 1 where you had 5 guys that had double digits in points. Well, if you're Miami, those other guys are going to have to just step up. Those other undrafted guys that did very well in the Eastern Conference Finals, they got to step up, man. That's basically it.
Step up, and one more thing, the power of prayer. I don't know if Eric Spoelstra and them boys is praying men. I don't know what the church scene is like in Miami Beach, but they might need to just pray for divine intervention, because at this point, that's what it might actually take.
Maybe Dwayne Wade can give him a couple of minutes. I don't know.
Man, look, you saw they tried to OUD out there. You saw they tried to Haslam out there. Dog, I don't know how many times Haslam has taken those damn sweats off all year and played in a game. Like, yo, here's what I want to know. Why do they keep bringing Haslam back? You know, like he's been on that league minimum for like at least since my sophomore year of college, and they keep bringing UD back, and UD plays like 3 appears. I don't even like to call it play, because he ain't really playing. He's on the court for a minute or 2. You know, he runs up and down the court twice, and then that's it. You know, like, why do they keep doing this? Does UD not want to go home? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the deal?
He cultured, man. He cultured. That's basically it. I guess it's just, I'm pretty sure that they're going to give him an executive spot once this is all over with, pretty much. And the only thing that I kind of wish I would, because you know how everybody always loves to give everybody the send-off game and all that stuff. So like his last game in his illustrious career, well, in the regular season, he went off for 24 points. He had 3 3-pointers. Now, mind you, before this, Udonis Haslem only made 6 3-pointers in his career before this. He hit 3 in the Heat final regular season game. 3.
Hey, maybe they throw him at Jokic just to foul the hell out of him. Maybe they just do that. Just hit him in the ribs, hit him in the ribs, hit him in the ribs. Maybe they just try that.
Hey, you got 6?
Hey, yeah, he got 6. He got 6. Man, my brother, when he coached basketball, he said he had a football player on the team. He said everybody's like, why is he on the team? Why is he on the team? My brother was like, real simple. He got 6 fouls. He said they had one of them teams had a big guy they couldn't do nothing with. He looked at him. He said, all right, son, it's your time. Go in there, be physical. Hit him. Look, hit him. Be physical. You got 6 of them, son. He went in there 4 minutes, 2 points, 2 fouls. He got the dude out of his rhythm. My brother, all right, son, thank you. Second half, Buddy started getting going again. Sent him back in there. Maybe they need to try that because it is comedy watching Bam and Zeller, and God help them if they end up on a switch. Gabe Vincent or Max Strus try to guard him. You ever play basketball or something with your uncles or your daddy when you was like 6 or 7 years old and they was posting you up and you was trying your hardest, trying to lean in and put some ass into it to try to give some resistance? And it was futile because they just turned around and shot over you casually. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like with Jokic out there. The thing is, those grown men. That's the problem. They're grown.
At this point, I just want to just get some laughs and going here. I just want to see the Nikola Jovic matchup. The other guy that the Heat drafted in the I guess in the draft last year.
Wait, you talking about the dude who played for the Heat who has the same name except in his name spelled just like Jokic's, except when there's K is a V, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying now. You know what that's kind of like?
Yeah.
Goldberg and Gilbert. Yo, that's kind of what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to all of my WWE fans who will get that reference.
Yes.
Because, that's what that feels like. That is totally what that feels like. And we have the pleasure joining us, the man, the myth, the legend. I don't know what happened to his camera just now. Kennedy Miller.
What's good?
My guys.
Yo, I was about to say, at first when you got on the stream, you didn't have a shirt on. I'm like, why he about to get on here looking like he just slid into third base?
No, I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna do that.
Thank you, sir. So we've been kind of talking through game 3 of the final. So overall, your assessment so far.
I think Denver is the better team. I do. I love the Heat. You love to see the 8th seed make it, that far. Haven't or it hasn't been done since the Knicks in '99, I believe. But for them to make it that far, I just think they're just playing against a better team. Like, they have no answer for Jokic, and the answer that they do have should probably be guarding Aaron Gordon, right? Like, because they don't have an answer for Jokic, but then if they put him on Jokic, they don't have an answer for Aaron Gordon. And so...
Oh, we're going to say what the answer was. Me and Lamar just said it. Prayer. Look, that's all I got. Do they, in pro basketball, do they still have like a team chaplain? Do people still do that?
They should for this series.
Because they need some old praying black women.
Yeah, okay. I think it's the Nuggets in 6. I think the Heat are gonna squeak out one more, maybe, but I think the Nuggets are just the better team. And I've talked about this maybe about a week or 2 ago, but Jokic is having like a Dirk-like run, throughout this. Now, Dirk, I think, played against better teams throughout his 2011 championship run, but the way that this guy's doing is like we had kind of written him off. Like,
you did.
I sure did. I sure did.
There's no French here.
No, I sure did, because in a game where the league is based off like pick and rolls and how can you guard pick and rolls, and he can't, right? But the additions of KCP and Bruce Brown made them not only a great offensive team, but a great defensive team as well. And so they have a bunch of role players that can step up, and you're like, any given night, Jokic can go for 40, Jamal Murray can go for 30, KCP can hit 6 threes, Michael Porter can hit 6 threes. You know what I'm saying? Like Aaron Gordon can go crazy. So any given night, you can have one of 6 or 7 players step up for you. That makes that team really dangerous. And so they've earned my respect. You know, Jokic has ascended his way into my top 5, top 3 players in the league. And I think they're going to beat the Heat in 6. The Heat they just play hard. I think they got the best coach in the league. We talked about it earlier this year. I thought Ty Lue was the best coach in the league. I think Eric Spoelstra has taken that mantle. And I just think he just finds ways to figure out his team.
I think that's fair. I think the thing about Miami is that they have made $20 out of 15 cents. They have.
That's what they do.
They have made it happen. They got all these undrafted dudes off the scrap heap. To keep it funky. Remember when San Antonio would get like Danny Green, and they would kind of drop him in, or they would like rehabilitate Boris Diaw after Boris Diaw in game 30 or 40, and then all right, we can use Boris Diaw, right? The Heat got a team full of Danny Greens. That's really what they've got. You know what I'm saying?
But, and no like Tim Duncan.
No Duncan. The guy that they have, to be honest with you, I don't really know who I can compare Jimmy to, but I think the runs Miami has had these last couple of years into the finals, the conference finals, all of that, really feels like those runs those Indiana Pacers had with Jalen Rose, Reggie Miller, Dale Davis, Rick Smits, Mark Jackson. That's really kind of what this feels like. You know what I'm saying? But I think Nuggets in 5. But we're going to move on to some of our fan questions, fan comments. So the first one is Maya asks, what does Craig from Friday and Chris Paul have in common?
They got fired on that day off.
Oh, damn.
But Craig wasn't no damn cone.
Craig wasn't the cone, and at that time, Craig still had a hairline. Well, maybe kind of. Like Chris Paul needs to go bald. He's
Chris
at the point.
Daughter's going to bully the hell out of it, them tomorrow.
Your daddy got fired.
Not only is your daddy not winning the ring, but he ain't got no job right now.
Hey, look, man. You know, I had somebody ask me today, is it over for Chris Paul? I said, yes, it should be over for Chris Paul. And I thought legitimately, to keep it funky with you, I thought it was going to be over for Chris Paul 4 years ago. In 2018, 2019, that last year he played in Houston, we were in that Warrior series. He was throwing his hip out, trying to get foul calls. And he was just going to the basket and throwing the ball at the rim, praying somebody blew the whistle.
Then he went on
that line.
Then he went on that vegan diet in his first year in OKC and turned his career around. But that last year in Houston, people forget that was pretty bad. Like he couldn't get past nobody and was throwing the ball through people's legs. Like
yes, he did do that. Yes,
yeah, yes. He was throwing the ball through people's legs to really like create advantages. And like he turned his weight around in OKC. He balled out, got him to the playoffs when many people thought they were a lottery team, and much respect to him. But at this point in his career, he's a backup point guard. He's one of the smartest players in the league, but he can't really generate mismatches on the offensive end, and he can't, he can't really on the defensive end just like maintain his own like he used to. Like many people forget, Chris Paul is like a 9-time all defensive team member.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's one of the best defenders at the point guard position of all time. And at this point in time, the game plan is like, let's attack attack CP3. Like, let's just go at him.
You know what's even worse now? Now that Chris Paul isn't as good as he once was. You remember when he was really good. As a matter of fact, Lamar, you remember in 2004 in the ACC tournament when he hit Julius Hodge dead in the kids?
Oh, yeah.
All those Chris Paul dirty tricks. Officer CP3 is going to be even worse now that he's not good. His shirt is untucked. Hey, that's going to be him. If he can even get on the floor, he's probably going to have one of them Jawan Howard, UD. We were just talking about UD being like a damn emeritus professor who teaches one class a year. You know what I'm talking about? He get on the court once every 18 months. That's going to be CP3. And the reason I say it's over, like somebody's probably going to sign him and use him. But it's over in terms of him being a positive player. Oh, we got another comment from Jasmine. CP3 to the Lakers. If you want another, I'm about to cuss. If you want another, whole locker room will smell like Geritol between him and LeBron.
Now, that was my next point. He's probably going to end up on the Lakers if the Suns let him go. Like, they came out with these other reports, like they're going to try and stretch him or do these trades or like, cut him to re-sign him for lesser money. Like, if he does actually become a free agent, he's probably going to end up on the Lakers. I've accepted that fate. I've accepted it. Now, do I want it? Hell no. Not as a starter, but as a backup, I'd take it.
So, if D'Angelo, well, I'm gonna ask you this question: who do you think is gonna be worse for your health, Russ or CP3?
No, it'd definitely be Russ. Like, at least CP3 is smart. He just can't move.
Would you rather have a guy? Look, so at a certain point, you'd rather have a fool that plays hard than a dude who's just standing out there.
No, get that fool out of here. Because if you got two of the smartest players in the league, even if they old, they can help some younger guys figure out what they supposed to do. Like, LeBron ain't gonna really guard nobody one-on-one. He just gonna roam and tell everybody what they need to do. CP3, the only problem I have with him is, are we going to keep D'Angelo Russell too? Because if we keep him, this is a point guard's league at this point. Like, everybody's going to go to work on us.
Food.
You know what I mean?
Look,
like,
the buffet is open because, like, I ain't gonna lie with the D'Angelo Russell thing. And Lamar, I don't know how you feel about this. Matter of fact, we talked about it during when the Lakers were getting swept up out of here.
Okay, we don't have to say it like that.
I mean, they did get swept.
I'm
sorry. When they lost to the Denver Nuggets.
Thank you. Denver was a better team. I give them their credit. They played their butts off.
Boy,
wrong.
Hey, boy, Kim was in there tight like Birdman was on the Breakfast Club, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was mad. I was mad, but I had to give Denver props. They was a better team. KCP,
your boy,
like a bitch. Okay, give me the bleep button. Are we live?
But why you sound like Ray J when he called into the Breakfast Club that time?
Give me the bleep button, okay? Because now KCP making all these shots, right? But I'm old enough to remember where KCP was in his first or second year with the Lakers. Well, second year, first year with LeBron. And they had to call a timeout, and LeBron had to beg him to shoot the ball. And now he's shooting out of his mind. Okay? I'm old enough to remember that. So KCP is shooting out of his mind. Denver was a better team. Jokic outplayed Anthony Davis. So on and so forth.
That I know that hurt you to say Jokic outplayed Anthony Davis.
He did.
I'm bothering you now.
Because I got worked up in the Anthony Davis, his last year in New Orleans, his first year with the Lakers. And what Anthony Davis was really good at was he was so much faster than everybody at his size and position. So he would just beat everybody down the floor. He would beat people off the dribble. And he was just so much more agile and athletic than most, fours and fives. Well, now he's had these injuries. They tried to make him gain weight to play the the center position, and so he doesn't have that blazing speed that he used to. Now he is still an elite generational defender. Like LeBron was good, but Anthony Davis was the reason they beat the Warriors. Right? Like, so he's still an elite defender, but he doesn't have that mismatch that used to give him or give Jokic problems against him. Like, because he used to just beat him down the floor. He would just run the floor, beat him down the floor, finish lobs, and then, you know, in that 2020 year, they had Dwight Howard, and they would just put him on Jokic, and he would just bully him. You know what I mean? And then push comes to shove, you put LeBron and AD at the 4 and 5, and that was the best 4 and 5 matchup in the league at that point.
No doubt, no doubt. So we're going to move on to more fan questions, fan comments. I really like this one right here. We're going to stay with the Lakers, I guess. Well, not quite.
Let's do
y'all think LeBron is going to Dallas? It could be a new trio: LeBron, Kyrie, and Luka. Lamar Gafford, you are a resident Mavericks fan. You suffered through a lot. The Mavericks humiliated themselves to get the 10th pick in the draft. So and they got you know that boy Dr. Sebi, Dr. Umar Irving over there running point for him, and he tried to recruit that boy LeBron to Triple D. Lamar, this is the worst idea ever. Or
if y'all think LeBron is going to go to Dallas, when Dallas cannot get free agents, and if you think LeBron is willing to give up control to be on Mark Cuban's team, then I got an ice house in Antarctica to really sell you on this one. Nah, he's not gonna go there. I mean, I just don't think that he will. I mean, if he does, color me shocked. I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised. I mean, because at this point, I'll just have to ask one of y'all just to kind of figure out, okay, how to deal with the LeBron experience, because I'm always gonna have to know. At least he's gonna get your team to a title, but he's gonna leave you with bare bones and pretty much in about 3 years of where the hell we're gonna be.
Man, when I first saw this report from Shams, I was like, this sounds like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna read the story anyway. And part of the Mavericks signing LeBron James, you know what that would involve, guys?
What?
LeBron taking a buyout. Now you and I, my mama, your mama, everybody mama, Jesus mama, no, LeBron ain't taking no buyout.
No.
Even if it's, I'm going to take $40 million, take a $40 million buyout to go play somewhere else when you're going to pay me $45 million to be here. Now, he getting all 45 of them, baby.
No.
Okay, number one. And number two, how bad is the market for Kyrie Irving where he has to try to recruit people to him? After we saw how this went the last time Kyrie recruited people to him, we saw what happened. Everybody ended up out of Brooklyn, right? The Hebrew Israelites was outside the door. Kevin Durant ended up in Phoenix, and James Harden ended up in Philadelphia, right? This shows me that, and the fact that he opted into his contract last year, don't nobody want him. Kyrie has the case of Jimmy McNulty syndrome, where despite how good you are, people don't want to deal with him. And the Mavericks are now in a place where you're stuck with a dude who is unavailable either due to injury or for Lord knows whatever else he comes up with reasons why not he don't want to show up.
PTO time?
Man, that's the PTO Kang right there. Okay, like I aspire to be like Kyrie. It's like, no, I'm not coming to work today. Why not? Don't want it. Like, but it's like, if not, like you're stuck with it. You're stuck with a situation a year after making it to the conference finals. We're all sitting around, standing around like, what are they doing? Because they tanked those last couple games to get the 10th pick in the draft.
Yes, they did.
And I don't know, like that pick ain't high enough for you to take a guy and then package that into, you know, some rotational pieces, some wings and some big guys that you need to actually try to make something shake. So in that, whoever that 10th pick is, that dude ain't gonna be able to help them win nothing or contend for nothing next year.
No.
So I don't know what they're like. They got a mess on their hands.
Well, to answer the initial question, I don't think LeBron is going to the Mavericks. I think he's staying with the Lakers. I just think the Mavericks need like one more piece though to really make them like contenders. Like next year, I think they'll get to the playoffs. Kind of because of the John Moran situation in Memphis, they get a whole year to play together. But if they can get like a DeAndre Ayton, out there in Dallas, I think that would help them because they do have two of the top 15 players in the league. And if Kyrie plays, 60 to 65 games and Luka does his usual, then that should get them into the playoffs. And if they get like a rim rolling big like DeAndre Ayton, that could help them a lot. What are you gonna say, Alex?
The only thing I was gonna say was if they end up trading him, and I think the reason they had to get rid of Monty Williams is because Monty Williams was like, I'm done with this dude, and you ain't nobody about to throw the number 1 overall pick in the dumpster, and he's 24 years old. So Frank Vogel, I think he gonna be in Phoenix, but if he were for some reason end up in Dallas, it would effectively be going to the exact same situation he just left, right? Mm-hmm. So with DeAndre Ayton at some point being effectively a role player, so they got a mess. They have a mess. We have another question. Yeah. What about Damian Lillard? He can't stay in Portland. Nah, he can't because
I'm sick of this nigga. I am. Mute me if you want to. Run from the grind. Stay with the grind. I don't care what you do. Stop telling me this. Alex Goodwin used to tell me something when we were in Gateway Apartments. And a lot of times we'd be on Seagram's Gin.
Shout out to Seagram's Gin.
Shout out to Seagram's Gin because I drink it and they're not paying me. Yeah. But Alex Goodwin used to say, in all seriousness, don't piss on my head and tell me it's rain. Because it's two things I hate. Piss and rain. Okay? Dame. Okay, I respect it. You don't want to run from the grind. You want to stay with the team that drafted you. You're loyal. That's all fine. Stop floating us these rumors that you go into these other places. And then you're going to say Miami is your number 1 destination. But if Miami wins the championship, then there's no way that you would go. Okay? Stop it. You got to get out of Portland. It just is what it is. Whether you want to do it or whether Portland needs to do it, I believe that Portland needs to give him the KG treatment that Minnesota gave him. Thank you for your service. Where would you like to be traded to? We've done all we can for you. We're going in a different direction. Just tell us what team you would like to be traded to, and we'll do our best to accommodate you. Okay? Because all this that he's doing right now is just too much. You're talking too much, and you're not doing enough. You are a top 10, 12, 13, whatever you are, player in the league, and you missed the playoffs 2 times in your prime. You're 32 years old. You're probably never going to be in a better place to compete at your physical peak for a championship. Get out of Portland. They got a young bull in Shaedon Sharpe. He's really good. You're going to have they got the 3rd pick?
Yeah.
They got the 3rd pick. You got to ask yourself, is that 3rd pick going to get you somebody that's going to help you compete for a championship immediately? Jaylen Brown.
No.
Pascal Siakam. Mikal Bridges. If you can't get any of them, and you don't think either of them or any of them will help you win a championship in the near future, what are you doing?
Collecting these checks, man. He ain't quite on that Bradley Beal program because Bradley Beal, remember the last time we heard about Bradley Beal leaving DC? He is just out here getting his money, and I ain't gonna front. Look, he got the best job in America. He just scores 25 points a game. His team wins 35 games a year, and no one says a word.
And don't got to worry about no expectation.
makes you know why? Because he has made it very clear when he re-signed there a couple years ago. He made it very clear, I'm a loser, and I'm okay with it.
And that's fine. And just tell us, I'm okay with losing. But Dame, don't stop getting on JJ Redick podcast. Stop getting on all these other people podcasts and saying you ain't running from the grind. You making it all sweet. You loyal. All the people in the 90s and the 80s, they love you. But Dame, shut the hell up.
And might I add, when we end, did you hear on First Take when Kendrick Perkins was breathing heavy in JJ Redick's ear? Like, bruh, those segments, they need to get JJ and Kendrick Perkins a show. I don't know how they're gonna do this.
No, they got to do
it. This might set America back into the culture war. Like, I don't know what may happen on this show, but look, the two of them need their own show just so it can be a mess. You thought Skip and Shannon was a ham. Oh boy, put them two on TV. All right. But like in terms of Dame, I really think like Dame can't be your best player, right? Small guard, don't play no defense.
And that's fine. That's the normal thing.
So where can he go? The question would be, where can he go be a number two? You know what I'm saying? What places that would have him?
Boston.
That have the picks and the assets that Portland would want.
I think he said
outside of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But Miami just got to the finals with Jimmy, Bam, and the guys from Lifetime Fitness.
But they ain't won it though. They ain't won it though.
Look,
Brooklyn.
We didn't think they'd be here.
Brooklyn,
but you know what I'm saying?
Boston.
You haven't done Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
I do it.
Ship him out. Yeah.
I mean, think about Brooklyn. Think about how Mikal Bridges looked when he got traded to Brooklyn and when he got an expanded role. You trade Dame. I saw a hypothetical trade. Shout out to Bleacher Report, but I thought it was pretty solid. Dame for like, I want to say Cam Johnson, Spencer Dinwiddie, Cam Thomas, and like 3 picks. Like, is that like, honestly, like you have to think Portland as a Portland organization, is it going to be good enough for me to keep Dame with the present roster and either draft that number 3 pick or trade that number 3 pick, or have Shaedon Sharpe from my near future, who I believe is going to be a star if he stays healthy, Anthony Simons, who's a solid player, the number 3 pick, and whatever assets I get for Dame, or just Dame and then the 3rd pick and whatever we trade for. Like, I feel like we've seen the ceiling with Dame as your best player. Like you said, like Dame is not going to win you anything as your best player, but if you trade him east and you have him with Mikal Bridges, I had a conversation with somebody else. I think Mikal Bridges now is better than any version that CJ McCollum has ever been. Because he's a two-way player. He's 6'7", 6'8". He can put the ball in the bucket. He's a great complement to what Dame brings to the table. And then, the Eastern Conference is much better than when LeBron was in it, but it's really, really top heavy right now. You got Milwaukee, you got Miami. I don't know what James Harden's going to do in Philly.
He's going back to Houston to run the streets with Ime Udoka. He's going to run the streets to Mrs. Steal Girl. Know that. Don't
tell me that.
Hey, hide your wives, hide your girlfriends.
Look, man, they are going to they are going to act the ass. You know it, Kennedy Miller. Look, Ime ain't even recruiting James Harden, talking about the team they can build. He's like, James, you done been here for 10 years. You've seen these women.
But I mean, you're right, and I agree with you. But the East is just very top heavy, to me. So you don't know what can happen over there. And so I think Just Dame, he got to get out of there, bro. He just has to.
Lamar, what you got?
Oh man, it's just. I mean, yeah, I think again. I was just thinking about the same thing about Bradley Beal when y'all were talking about him. It's like I go back to last year. Him and his wife, they went out to eat. I think it was Father's Day, and then his wife was showing all the stuff that she bought and everything. And then Bradley Beal was like, hey, "Get me too, yeah. I paid for this. I paid for this. I paid for all of this." And so, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that because, like you said, I mean, Dame's gonna have to go somewhere. It's gonna have to go somewhere.
He's got to.
And same for Bradley Beal.
Well, no, you know where Bradley Beal's going? Wells Fargo.
To the house. Oh.
Bradley Beal don't care about being a champion in terms of raising no Larry O'Brien trophy because Bradley Beal is already a world champion, the most valuable player at Bank of America. He don't give a damn about winning.
Dude, and it's so many, like, it's so unfortunate, like, because everybody, like, you know, it's like, I don't want to say like old heads, but you talk to like older guys, and some people they're just like, oh, well, you just want them like team hop and like ring chase. Like, no, I don't want people to do that. I just want the best players to actually have an option to compete for a championship. That's it. Like, I'm not asking Damian Lillard to go to the Warriors or to the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want him to be on a team that is actually actively competing to win a championship. And I feel like Portland is not trying to do that. Same thing with Bradley Beal. I feel like Bradley Beal is one of the top 20, 25 players in the league. I feel like they should all be actively trying to compete to win a championship. You ain't got to get there all the time, and you ain't got to be on the best team. But you can be on the Knicks, right? Like, the Knicks was a fourth seed or a fifth seed, whatever they were. Like, you can be in that range and still feel like you can compete with a championship and still have a really good player on your team and not run from the grind.
Hey, man, they can forget all that. You got something, Lamar?
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Should we ask about the Zion Williamson stuff or not?
I was about to say, speaking on wife of Bradley Beal.
Hey, look, we gonna get ourselves in trouble. All I'm gonna say is this. Here's all I got to say. Because Kennedy Miller, y'all not gonna lose me the job I just got. That's what y'all not about to do.
I'm not saying a word. I'm not saying a word.
All I'm gonna say is this. I saw a tweet where somebody said Zion and their young lady. He said they were moving some furniture. He said that wasn't no. He said that wasn't no, no quiet situation.
Come on now.
He said when they was getting down to the get down, he said that's a whole lot of humanity up in there.
Alex,
I thought the hamstring was messed up.
That's why his groin's messed up.
That's why he couldn't play.
That's why.
Oh yeah, the groin, not the hamstring, the groin. I guess it wasn't the groin. And that's all I'll say.
That has been another episode of the Game Plan Podcast. Because we got to stop right here.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got jobs. Look, I ain't sent them my I-9 information yet. And I'm going to make sure y'all don't mess this up for me.
Oh, I'm keeping quiet.
Thank you. So, you can follow me on Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. Again, that's on Twitter at Alex Goodwin TSM. Kennedy Miller, my man. Where can the folks find you? Twitter, Instagram, all of that.
_ Kennedy Miller _ on Instagram. That's _ Kennedy Miller _ That's how you can find me, though.
Lamar.
You can find me on Twitter at Lamar Gafford, all in one word. That's once again at Lamar Gafford. And you can also find me on Instagram, primetime2832. Also check out my website, cinelotpreps.com. Got some good things coming up. So,
all right. Also, don't forget, folks, follow the Game Plan Podcast Instagram at _ the Game Plan Podcast. Again, follow the Game Plan Podcast on our official Instagram at _ the Game Plan Podcast. Follow, like, share, subscribe. this video, all the other videos here on our official Game Plan Podcast YouTube channel. And don't forget, folks, tell a friend to tell 10 more friends to tell 10 more friends about the Game Plan Podcast. Wherever you're listening and watching, however you're listening and watching, thank you guys for listening and watching. For Lamar Gafford and Kennedy Miller, my name is Alex Goodwin. This has been the Game Plan Podcast live stream. We'll catch you guys after game number 4. You guys take a light.